Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Bryce Kuhn, right here on the Crowded Booth on a Monday evening. Each and every single episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. We've got our pick of the day for Tuesday coming later on in the show. But FanDuel, the presenting sponsor, all 2026, and it is February, which means it's almost time to start talking about spring football. But until then, it's going to be ranking season. It's going to be list season. It's going to be a lot of those and more. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And we'll be back here in just a second on tonight's episode of the Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Kuhn.
All right, welcome in, everyone, to another edition of the Crowded Booth here on a Monday evening. We appreciate you watching live or after the fact and listening on those podcast feeds as well. Austin Bodley, I better not see Josh Heupel on anyone's top five. And Ruff, don't even think about putting John Summer on there.
No, he's not.
He's J-O-H, it's not on there. J-O-N might be something, there. Joey Dodd. Will, you're a scrub, apparently, per Joey. And, just catching strays. That's not a stretch, that's a direct.
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Impressive.
Well, fellas, it's been a minute since we've had a show. I believe it's been about 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know when the last time we've all three had a show together. Obviously, some big changes that we have made in terms of that. So, welcome in. And don't worry, people. It's still here. It's still there.
It just dropped down about 3 shelves.
We just redecorated a little bit. We welcome you in. Thanks so much for watching. Before we kind of rock and roll into this whole thing, last night was the Super Bowl. Thoughts? Not really. I don't care. And more of what was the spread? What was the menu item of choice? Will?
I mean, I'm biased because it was what my wife and I provided to the party. A brisket dip from Costco.
Oh,
very good. She bought it. I didn't see it until we got to our little get together. So it was not what I expected.
Out of your wife, really? I mean,
yeah. She
and Pete.
She came through.
Okay,
it was great.
A brisket dip, like a brisket queso type of deal.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, it wasn't heated up. You ate it cold on a cracker, but yeah, I didn't even look at the ingredients. I just took a bite and I was like, "This is delicious." I probably ate half the tub of it myself.
Awesome. Ralph, you were at a get together.
Yes. It was just food brought there. It was pizza, wings, nacho bar. So.
Nacho bar. Now this is where it gets interesting, because when we talk about a nacho bar, are we talking about like concession stand cheese?
No.
Or are we rolling with like what are we talking about?
Mixture of there's Rotel, there was normal just warmed up cheese. Yeah, I'm not sending anyone my address. That's just not happening. Because last time someone that wanted the address, they wanted to fight Bryce and I. So we're not getting to that point. But yeah, it was regular cheese, Rotel. They had toppings for like sour cream, jalapenos, tomatoes, whatever you wanted. They had olives. I threw them in the trash can because I thought that's disgusting, because olives are the most disgusting thing in the world. They had a winging competition. I did not partake in that.
Where were the wings from?
Wingstop.
That's probably a good reason that you didn't.
Well, I had to wake up at 4:45 this morning, so eating wings last night, eating 25 wings and however long,
We don't need to put you on the 15-day IL again.
Yeah, that was, we can't. That wasn't 15. That was like a 30-day. That was a rough week, rough month.
Retroactive to last March, and you were put on for the 60-day and continued to extend. I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell people, and Brian, and maybe it's not going to go on a limb. Wingstop's terrible. It's bad.
Last time I watched the Wingstop, we about got shot.
Yeah, from the service is brutal, and just the overall wing is bad. We had wings last night from a location down here in Baton Rouge. Phenomenal, great wings. We had some people over. We got 50, 10 of each flavor. and it was good. We had a nice lemon pepper dry rub. We had a Cajun dry rub, a little honey barbecue, their OG buffalo, and then a garlic parm, which is not my favorite, but my wife likes, and a couple of people liked it. But the Cajun dry rub was solid, and the lemon pepper dry rub. I've never had I don't know if I've ever had lemon pepper wet yet. That was an option. I've always had like the dry rub from lemon pepper.
It's okay if you like lemon pepper. Good. I mean, they're okay to me. I'm not a big fan. It's not my first 5 choices.
Mm-mm. Ralph eats lemon pepper from Zaxby's, so
no, I absolutely don't. Absolutely
the
not.
tackle box from Zaxby's
with the fried shrimp and a
now Joey.
There we go.
Joey knows.
We don't have to offer anymore here.
Brutal.
Smoke wings.
Smoke wings.
Smoke them if you got them.
Yeah.
Have them Thursday. We will.
Jordan says, "Why are you not in Athens?" Because I haven't moved. I'm staying in Baton Rouge until April. So there we go. Okay, well, we're going to dive into our rankings. Now, look, how we're going to do this is we obviously have the SEC schedule. Like the SEC schedule has been released, so that 2026 is like what we think is going to happen is not relative to this. This is essentially what has happened up until February the 9th. So it's the portal haul, the outlook coming into this season, and really kind of what you've done up until this point. So there is some variation. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we do have 3 questions after the fact that I wanted to get to and discuss as a roundtable discussion. But we'll start. So I'll go first. How about that? I will go first. So
it's your show.
It's my show.
Your name's up there in the top middle on the logo.
It is. All right, I'm going to go first here. Here are my rankings heading into 2026. Obviously, the bias has got to set in with at the number 1 spot, Kirby Smart,
and number 2,
number 1 head coach. Look, 2 national titles, back-to-back playoff appearances. Obviously, the patience from the fans is a little bit restless after back-to-back one-and-done exits. But I think we can all say with the longevity of what he's been able to do, I know Will's shaking his head because Georgia fans are spoiled to an extent. But I will say this, Kirby Smart, number 1 coach in college, in SEC, and I just spoiled my college football head coach there too. I still think he's the best in college football. Now, I'm not going to tease what is different, but as you can see, whoever pays my paycheck, I will definitely just talk up. So number 2 for me is Lane Kiffin. And this is kind of where this is because I think Kiffin and Sark, well, I'll just say this. I think 1 through 3 is clear, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't really looked at y'all's yet. I think we have maybe some different order. But I think that there's a gap from 3 and everything else. Like, I think you have 3 proven coaches that can get to the playoff. And we've seen that. And then everything else, there's some question marks about what they can do. DeBoer and Venables have been there too, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I didn't want to cut you off, though. But I think you've got the top 3.
Yeah.
I think you have number 4, and then it moves down to like a different tier. If we did this as like a tier list, I mean, looking at all of ours, I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah. Well, and I was looking around at some just different rankings people did. They actually had Kirby as a tier 1, and then they went extra tiers because they're like, he's won the national title twice. Yeah. So like that reserved his own tier. That being said, Kiffin to me versus Sark is very, very close. These 2 teams will face off in Baton Rouge this year in November. It's going to be an electric 2 weeks. Might be the most electric 2-week span in Baton Rouge in a long, long time because it's Alabama and then it's Texas, both coming to Tiger Stadium. Yeah, picked a great year. Great year. By the way, not to go on a tangent, a great year to leave the LSU beat. LSU's going to Ole Miss and Tennessee. Wow. And they get to host those 2 games. Meanwhile, I'll be watching Austin Peay. So there's that. And it's okay, though. So Kiffin and Sark, I give the nod to Kiffin. I still think Sark has shown the ability to build a really good program. People talk about Texas being back and things like that. They're relevant. They're in the national picture. They were probably 1 win away from being a playoff team, especially with how they ended the season against Texas A&M this past year. So to me, with how you look at this, is Kiffin and Sark. That to me is that 2 and 3 could be flipped. Outside of that, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but You can catch it if you're listening on the social platforms. We'll post these. Just some notables for me. I know that on this specific program that my guy at number 6 is not thought of very fondly, and Mike Elko. Some people refer to him as Fraud Elko or Mike the Fraud Elko. My take with this is that Texas A&M has always been the team that couldn't get over the hump. It feels like the future in College Station with him is they're going to consistently be in that playoff picture, which, by the way, we've got to stop judging head coaching greatness based off of, or just good head coaches based off winning national titles. It's harder than ever to win a national title. How often can you put yourself in position? I think that Elko, for me, is a guy that's going to have A&M near that. And they got a big year incoming as well. A couple other things, and we're going to talk later on the show about this. As you can see, 13 through 16 are all the new head coaches. You could really roll with anything. We could have put an asterisk on this and kind of said, we'll see. Silverfield probably has, I guess, the most head coaching experience out of these guys. I don't know. I feel like maybe him and Summerall are close.
I think they have the same amount of years.
Yeah. So I guess the argument is
Silverfield has one more.
Yeah, Silverfield's coached in the American for the longest, which is perceived as the strongest Group of 5 conference. I do have Will Stein ahead of Silverfield, and a lot of people in Razorback country were not too happy with the hire of Silverfield. I think Stein has assembled quite the roster that'll be just intriguing to watch what Kentucky can do this year, and a good friend of the program, Joe Sloan, the offensive coordinator. Which it won't be his offense. He'll get to kind of get back into that quarterback coach role. This is going to be Will Stein's offense. So that being said, I'll read it out. 1 through 8 for me was Smart, Kiffin, Sark, DeBoer, Venables, Elko, Heupel, Lee, Drinkwitz, Beamer, Golding, Levy, Sumrall, Golish, Stein, Silverfield. I did not rank any of the new coaches above the existing, just as maybe an asterisk behind it. I do think that Pete Golding is better and in a better situation than Jeff Levy. Luckily, Gavin's not on the program tonight because he would get us banned from the city of Starkville if we had to talk about that. But
what was that for?
The one that's intriguing for me is the Drink versus Beamer debate. Drink has done a really, really good job at Missouri, regardless of like them achieving a playoff spot. They've won 10 games, 2 out of the last 4 years. 9+ games, 3 out of the last 4 years. Beamer, to me, has been kind of a boomer bust so far. He's had some really, really phenomenal moments, and then this past year was a low for them going 4-8. But they feel like they reinvested in the roster. They kept Lenore Sellers, kept Dylan Stewart, kept Nick Arbor, and they're trying to build around that core of players there as well. So that's my rankings there as well. We'll see. I mean, I like the energy that Beamer has, but maybe we bring him up later in the show. So that is my top 16 coaches. So instead of letting these guys pour over it, we'll go to the next one. And here's Will. So Will, let him have it. Thing, just maybe talking points from it.
Yeah. Just real quick, like I said, our top 4 I think is the same, but you can kind of move pieces around. I just have Sark ahead of Kiffin compared to yours because Sark has gotten to the playoff. I know you can say Kiffin got Ole Miss to the playoff, but he didn't coach in the playoff. It's a weird situation. And Sark, their playoff run, he won 2 games and played in the national championship game. So to me, that gives him the edge over Kiffin. Now, I've been told my 5 through 9 is shocking, and I'm going to be raked over the coals for it. I have Josh Heupel at 5. I'll spell it out for the people just listening. Eli Drinkwitz at 6, Clark Lee at 7, Mike Elko at 8, and Brent Venables at 9. I think what Heupel's done at Tennessee to resurrect that program and make the college football playoff makes him worthy of a top 5 spot in the SEC. I think I really love what Drink has done at Missouri. Missouri is a weird place.
Yeah.
Prior to NIL, I think it was a very, very difficult place to recruit to, just because you're in the dead center of the country and you're kind of also at the same time in the middle of nowhere as far as college football geographically. But to come into the SEC and do what he's done, probably his big signature win was that Cotton Bowl win 2 years ago against Ohio State, and then obviously they couldn't capitalize on that momentum. They've kind of maybe taken a half step back, but he's got the support there that it takes to win at a high level. It's just being able to lock down the state of Missouri, which is kind of difficult to do because, like I say, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere geographically as far as college football is concerned. Clark Lee at 7. I've been told I'm too high on Clark Lee, but this is a guy that has put Vanderbilt on the national stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of that is Diego Pavia. I think that the majority of that is Diego Pavia and Tim Beck. Did I get it right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Jerry Kill there. But this is a guy who back-to-back SEC Coach of the Years in 24 and 25. Had to make sure I get that right. And he was also the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year this year. So I give him some more points there for the recognition. And he's done a truly remarkable job. Say what you want to. Say it's Diego Pavia, whatever. Clark Lee's the guy that got him in the building. And as a head coach, that's his job. I have Elko and Venables behind them, even though they have playoff appearances, which I put a lot of stock into. I just don't have a lot of trust in them, in either of them, to be honest with you. I think they took advantage of, number one, the expanded playoff, 12-team playoff, and I thought this year when you're talking about 8 through 12, it was basically survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm.
They just did enough to get there in the end, and losing in the first round, both at home, I think kind of showed that they just kind of not necessarily backed their way into it because they certainly deserved it. And I thought A&M was the best team in the country for a lot of the year, and they, as they tend to do, fell off in November. I wasn't real high on Oklahoma at all really last year. Yeah, I don't know. Oklahoma fans, they'd be happy to see Venables go. I think they as far as like long term for their program, didn't really love making the playoff. So I don't have a lot of trust in them. And then I went different from you. I ranked we'll call Golding a newcomer. All of the games he coached were in the playoff. Great, incredible run by Ole Miss. And I put Sumrall in there at 11 ahead of returners like Beamer and Levy. Also have Golish ahead of Levy. I think what Sumrall and Golish did outside of the SEC kind of gives them a boost over a Beamer and a Levy who this is their first head coaching jobs. Yeah. And like you said about Beamer, it's been boom or bust, but the boom hasn't really been big, right? I think 9 wins was the most he's had in a season, which is good. It's a good year. I'm not saying it's not, but not big enough boom for me to say, yeah, he's a better coach than Sumrall. And Levy just has not been able to really get it going. But from 2 wins to 5 wins, that's a big jump, especially in the SEC. So things are moving the right way. And where I differ from you, Will Stein has not been a head coach. Like you said, I agree with you. Some exciting things he's done, his first staff and the first roster he's put together, some exciting things. But I just put Silverfield ahead of him because I thought he did a real nice job at Memphis. I think he kind of stayed too long. He kind of missed his window to get a big job, and now he takes the Arkansas job. But it was hard for me to rank Will Stein ahead of anybody because he hasn't been a head coach. Great offensive coordinator, great young offensive mind, but we just haven't seen it as a head coach.
Yeah, no, not too much. Not too many questions on that. I think I understand. I think I understand the reasoning for Heupel, and I think once you get past that top 4, it's like there's definite legitimate cases to be made of interchanging, especially when you talk about the difficulty or the degree of difficulty with the job, right? I mean, Drink and Lee, like you push them above an A&M and Oklahoma, who are probably more well-resourced. Missouri has done a really good job in the city of St. Louis and capturing in-state NIL, which is a massive piece for them to be able to compete year in, year out. So, yeah, I like it. before we get to Ralph's, is this what they did in their career or just the offseason? This is just heading into 2026. So this is based off of what you have done up until this
both?
point. And yeah,
So
it's
both.
really both. Like
Yeah.
it's really a combination of those things and also like where you project essentially with the stuff that you've done, kind of the vibes around the program. So rough. Take it away.
Yeah, I think there's no surprise of the top two there. I mean, Kirby, obviously, what he's done. We all had Kirby at 1. There should be no surprise there. I thought I had Lane 2. Did I not?
That's a question for Mr. Graphic himself.
Yeah, I swore I had Lane 2. If I didn't, it's yeah, I had Lane 2. It's Sark 3. So it's okay. I'm kind of with what Lane's done this all season. Just the pieces he's brought in, some of the players he's brought in, the program he has around him. I think what's going to happen in Baton Rouge this year is very exciting. And a fan base that's probably desperately needs it after the last few years and what has kind of gone down there. I agree with Sarkisian though with Will at 2 though. It was hard between Sark and Lane at 2. It really was for me. Sarkisian's got that playoff run. I have high hopes for Arch this year. I had high hopes last year for him. I think all the news and all the media got to him, and about midway to the end of the season, started playing his best football. I think he's got a strong chance this year to really kind of show out, play a little better. Nerves are knocked off. Okay, you didn't really play great, but you didn't play terrible all year. You kept your team in some games, and you won some games for him. That bowl game I thought was an impressive performance going into the offseason for him. DeBoer, I'll tell you one thing about DeBoer is that I have a lot of Alabama fans that I know, and they cannot stand him. They want him gone. But to be in his second year and make a playoff and has won 9 to 10 games both years and has another SEC championship, appearance. I mean, through what the NIL's done, the transfer portal's done the past few years, to keep doing what he's doing there after leaving in Saban's legacy. I mean, it's a hard job to be in right now. He's doing a great job. I think, with the work they did this past year, had a lot of injuries on the offensive line, the running back room. Thank you, Gavin. I thought they fought pretty well. You just ran into the buzzsaw as Indiana at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you lost to Florida State week 1. I think everyone counted you out. I know someone in the show counted them out very early on. But look, they battled back, man. They kept winning, getting on. They just kept looking like the old Alabama self. I hate to be the one to say it. They did. Alabama still the same, dominant performance every year. It's not a rebuild. It's a reload. Kirby's been doing that the past few years. Saban did it for years. DeBoer's kind of on that train now. I like what he's doing there. I have Venables a lot higher. I thought this past year was incredible. He don't have a top 5 SEC defense every year. Great defensive mind. Had an elite pass rush this past year. They showed out in some games. He is 2-0 against DeBoer though. I should have. That's one thing to mention. He is not. Or I guess he's 2-1 since he lost to him in the playoff game. I forget that all the time now. But Venables, I think he's got a solid team coming up next year. Hopefully, a full John Mateer season, him not getting hurt. Fully healthy. Maybe they look a little better offensively. Their defense obviously kept them in games. That Ole Miss game was abysmal though. Just could not move. They couldn't do anything offensively. Yeah. And not having a fully healthy quarterback does not help. I think we should have saw Hawkins a few more times for them this year. Not giving him a chance in some of those games where Mateer just couldn't even get the ball out was just a lack of coaching in that situation.
That's modern college football.
Yeah,
Mateer's getting paid too much. You can't put him on the bench.
Yeah.
My thing about Mike Elko, and I said I'm one of the guys. I'm with Gavin. Sometimes it's fraudulent because they have so much money and they spend it so well. They get the best players and athletes year in year out, and they have one of the best atmospheres in college football. And a team that should not struggle against like that game against Miami, I know Miami's defense is really good, but that was a pitiful performance. An absolute pit. And coming off the game against Texas, where you looked pretty bad too, and had all that time to prepare for it, it was pitiful in my opinion. And I think that's in a home game especially. That's not good. No offensive touchdowns. Get the field goal only, and then couldn't move the ball. I mean, even that South Carolina game, I know they came back and won it. It was an impressive second half performance out of them, but that first half, getting blown out like that, that's bad. I think Elko has done a great job. He's going to do better. Hopefully, he learned a lot from this year. Yeah, you had an easy schedule throughout the SEC this year. You got to be better prepared for the playoff game because Miami came at you full speed and they punched you in the mouth for 4 quarters, and it was an ugly performance.
I wanted to ask something. So with Elko, if the only thing we're punishing him for is not being prepared against a team that on paper was one of the best teams coming into the country and played for a national title, they were vast. They went 11-2. That I will say, I don't. And Gavin's here. Gavin's there. I don't understand the fraudulent claims, but against
it's not really. I shouldn't say fraudulent. I kind of go off what Gavin likes to say about him. I was more disappointed in their playoff performance in that game against Texas and in the season for Miami. I had high hopes for them in the playoff. I thought they could have a good run, have a home game first, go into play Ohio State the second game, and probably give Ohio State a run for their money. That's how I really had expectations for them in the playoffs, and I was just I was taken away. I missed half the game, and I got home to watch the second half, and just from what I was told and from what I watched in replays, it was that was not the Texas A&M we saw throughout the season. I felt like, and I'm not discrediting Miami at all. I saw their defense in person. I saw what Ruben Bain can do in person. That's a bad man.
Yeah.
And Clark and what Mike Elko's done and is going to continue to do, they're going to be winners. They're going to win there. They're going to produce 9 to 10 wins every year. They're going to compete for a playoff spot. And look, I'm sure it's 100% hard to win a national championship. It's hard to win playoff games. It's hard to win every Saturday. I was taken away by that performance. I was just expecting better, and I was disappointed. And like I said, I didn't drop him far. I mean, if anything, I put him right where I wanted him to be. I think I had him almost in the same spot from last year, if not maybe higher.
It matters when you win. It's like best coach I've ever seen. Gus Malzahn would always say, recently retired Gus Malzahn would say, you get remembered in November. And A&M, that has been their problem since they've joined the SEC. They're on their third coach since they've joined the SEC, and it's still the problem. If Elko wins these games in November and wins these games in December, we're talking about him being number 4, number 5 in the SEC.
Shoot, 3 maybe. I mean, he wins 2 playoff games or – doesn't lose to Texas, and he's playing in Atlanta against Georgia or whoever it was been,
Yeah. So that all matters. It matters. It went on the road. You find a way to beat Notre Dame. Great. Congratulations. But you come out and you lay an egg.
Couldn't have beaten Notre Dame, but they did.
You come out and you lay an egg against Miami in the biggest game of the year. That's going to cost you in a ranking like this in talking season. It's going to cost you.
Yeah, I guess for me, Heupel above Elko, Heupel can't get to that point. He's gotten there one time and gotten obliterated on the national stage, which is, which is what happened to Elko.
Right.
And that's it for me. He's been there 2 years. He went 8-5 in year 1, I believe it was. And then they went 11-2 this past year. So for me, I don't know. It's interesting. All right, Ralph, you got 60 seconds to round out the back half of your rankings. I mean,
yeah, I'm kind of with on the same thing about the last guys who are in the first years. I think Levy he's doing better. I think Camario Taylor's gonna be fun to watch this year. He's got there's someone put in the comments say, hey, he hasn't won a conference game yet. He won one this past year, beat Arkansas. So shut up. I think Golich is probably the best new coach in the SEC, in my opinion. For what he has, what he can retain at Auburn. From when he brought in, he got his quarterback there from South Florida. That kind of puts him a step above everybody else. Summerall's bringing in the quarterback that has played some, but not in the SEC. And then, like I said, Byron Brown has not done the same thing. But sorry, has not played much. He's played a little bit, but he has not as much playing time as Byron Brown does. Silverfield, look, I think he'll do great at Arkansas. Will Stein's obviously going to take some time to get Kentucky back and rolling, but I'm not going to say much about Pete Golding. I've said enough about Pete Golding to people. I think the whole situation it was kind of just too quick. So I felt like it was a rush, coaching hire. I said it a while back to somebody. It reminds me when Mississippi State hired their defense coordinator after Mike Leake passed away. They hired him right after the bowl game was over with, after he won the bowl game, and season came crashing down on the next year. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It just kind of feels the same way. So,
Ole Miss fans will love you for that one.
I have a question just about all our rankings in general. Really, the graphic. Why do we have a logo next to John Summerall's name?
Oh yeah,
this guy has said publicly multiple times that he can't wear the logo because he hasn't earned it.
Where's the original one, Gavin? Where I'm next to him,
and then he turns around and is wearing the logo. What are we doing? But no, I didn't. I saved a lot of my thoughts on Alex Golesh because that could be its own 3-hour podcast. But
you can contain it to 3 hours.
I'm just gonna say he is very lucky that I did not put him 16, because how are you gonna stand up there and ask people to pray for the offensive line? Read the room. Read the room.
Auburn and the offensive line, it never ceases to be a talking point.
All
right,
who could hear.
So here we go. We've got several questions that we want to get to here. Let's start it with this. Question number 1. Can Pete Golding keep Ole Miss at a college football playoff level? That's where a lot of this happens. Now, listen, I'm going to get my take on this. I think that Ole Miss fans are just – God love them. I mean, this is where I sit with this. It is very obvious that you have to give credit – well, Ole Miss fans won't do it, but you have to give credit to Lane Kiffin for building the team that got them to the playoff. Yeah. That 110% correct. It's also fair in the same vein to say – credit to Pete Golding for taking over, rallying the troops, keeping everyone bought in and everything to go win a home playoff game against a team that don't even get me started. But then obviously going to the Sugar Bowl and winning and putting yourself in a position to go play for an opportunity to play in the national title. He deserves all of that credit. Now that the emotions of the Lane Kiffin thing, they'll never truly wear off because that game in September is going to be nuts, or October. But now that you can't really fall back on the screw you mentality as much anymore, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Pete Golding does as a head coach. Because here's the thing: was he actually truly a sought after candidate outside of this situation? I don't know. Like, and it's impossible for us to know, like, what athletic directors would have liked or wanted and things like that. I don't know. We all know that his mentality, it has worked. It worked for 2 plus months during their playoff run towards the end of the season. It worked for that. Staying at the college football playoff level, right? So you've got to probably stay at that level would probably put you between, let's just say, the 10 to top 15 team. Can he keep them in that race? He's got a lot of rebuilding to do with that offense. He brings in the OC from East Carolina, who had experience at Ole Miss before, is going to give them a little bit of kind of what Charlie Weiss Jr. used to like, who's now in Baton Rouge. I guess my question is, can he keep them there? I don't know. I don't think this is just a for sure, like, oh, Ole Miss will be fine. They're going to be good. I don't think they're going to win 4 or 5 games a year, but Will, you said this all fall. Lane Kiffin had them at a point they'd never been in history. Can he keep them at that level? I think it speaks to how hard that job is when you don't have a guy who's going to command everything and all the resources necessary. Do they? And it really may be on the donors too. So that's a long-winded way of asking it, but we'll start with you.
Well, it's more than that. It's a guy that I think in the game right now may have the best eye for talent of anyone in the country. I mean, the players that Lane Kiffin brought in and got the most out of. Trinidad Chambliss was playing Division II. I mean, everybody missed on him. He pulls him out of Division II and makes him they're a few games away from playing for a national championship.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much the reason why he was the best quarterback in the SEC last year. A kid that was playing Division II. So no, I don't think Golden can keep it up, but it's not his fault because you lose a guy in that building that has an eye for talent like no one else in the country has, I don't think, in Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, what he's able to do, and I mentioned this so much talking about LSU down the stretch, the value that he creates. A lot of people have this concept that he just goes and gets paid for the biggest players. It's really not what they do. They do it at certain positions, right? Like we've seen what LSU's done. They have the top ranked left tackle, the top ranked quarterback, and the top ranked pass rusher, right? They brought those guys in. But you look elsewhere, he's looking for good value, good fits into the scheme. That's just hard to live up to. And I don't know if, like you said, I agree with you, if it's Pete Golding's own fault. He can do his own thing there, but that might be 8 to 9 wins a year, and that is a tad bit of a step down from what Lane Kiffin's had him, and we'll see. I don't know.
Listen, Ole Miss fans, that's still a step up for historically what you're used to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ralph, your thought? I mean, is Ole Miss in the playoff this year? I mean, you got Deuce Knight starting at quarterback, we believe, I guess. I don't know what's going to happen ultimately with the Trinidad Chambliss thing, but I guess your thoughts.
What is it between him and AJ Maddox? I think would be the quarterback battle, I suppose.
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
Well, Deuce Knight can't throw the ball, so
Austin Simmons is gone. So you have AJ Maddox, who is another baseball player on the team, I'm pretty sure, at quarterback, and then you have Deuce Knight. I don't see him going to the playoff next year. I think the drop off from this past season is going to be hurting a lot of these guys, and a lot of those guys are staying. You keep Kawan Lacey, your workhorse at running back. He's going to be he's probably in the season with, if not the most carries on that in the SEC, or the second most carries behind Ahmad Hardy at Missouri.
Yeah.
So, I think there'll be a drop off. And I say drop off, I think, like I said, 8 to 9 wins. A lot of teams would love to have a drop off of 8 to 9 wins, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what you're used to, Ole Miss fans, it's not going to be the same. I just think it's just going to take some time. I think if Golding's the right guy, you got to give him some time. Get him some recruits in there. Obviously, he's been recruiting for the last few years for Ole Miss, and a lot of these guys on this team are already guys he signed, or helped sign. So, going forward, I think this will be the big kind of the viewer year if we can just see what happens. Keeps the locker room together all year long. Can't get these guys, don't get too frustrated. Just you're gonna have to take some punches this year, though, for sure.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be growing pains for him as a head coach. He's never done it, and when you take away the revenge factor, what's left? Like, it's a very fair thing to say, who is Pete Golding as a head coach? What does that team look like? We don't really know. We saw what they looked like, but I think they fed off a lot of the energy of the chip on their shoulder. Yeah. But also, he didn't build that team. So that is something that you really have to understand. You bring in the OC, is there growing defensive coordinator too that hasn't really played.
As a defensive coordinator, he played a big part in building that.
But you lost a lot of those guys in fairness.
It's like I said, Lane Kiffin was the architect. There is zero question about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, his eye for talent, I don't think you can replace that. I don't know that you can find that from anybody. It's just going to be extremely difficult. Yeah. It's going to be extremely, extremely difficult.
If Ole Miss averages, if bottoming out under Pete Golding with a record-wise is 7 wins, that's good. Like, if that's bottoming out as a program under him, because, Will, you've said it so many times, what is Ole Miss traditionally? They are a 6 to 8 win program traditionally. And Kiffin elevated them. And to your point, it's not that I don't think they can have success. It's just we don't know. So the idea that they're just going to walk and keep doing what they've been doing, I'll say if he does it, holy cow. That'd be crazy.
I have one comment, though. I kind of want to just forgot it. Golding's 2 playoff games were against 2 teams he already played this year also. That he saw in the regular season.
Good point.
They blew out Tulane in the regular season 45-10, and he saw Georgia already once this year. And they won both those games.
And maybe to his credit, he had a good game plan against Miami. Miami just made a couple more plays.
And
that was a great game.
Against Georgia in the first time, had a great game plan for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
The 4th quarter, Kirby just took over. And that's just how he does. That's just what he does. So,
yeah.
I mean, that kind of sits in the back of my head that, he saw the 2 teams he played in the playoffs, and one being Tulane. So,
Pete Golding, I think it's going to be okay. I just don't know if it's going to be consistent playoff appearances over there in Oxford. Next question that we're going to dive into here, Hot Seat 2026. Who's on it? Who's there? I'm not letting Gavin talk. If either one of you say Jeff Lebby, it can't be Jeff Lebby. It's Mississippi State, with all due respect. What is the real expectations?
I already have mine. It's Shane Beamer.
Yeah.
I think we're all going to agree it's Beamer.
Well, let me say this about Beamer.
He's one of them.
Oh, God.
It is Beamer, but should it be? Because here's something else. Here's another program that needs to be careful about who they think they are. Outside of Steve Spurrier, what has South Carolina been? A middling Power 4 program.
Great baseball program.
Hey. Do not disrespect Lou Holtz like that.
Oh, God.
But I think South Carolina fans, changes have to be made. They have had, and Gavin can fact check me here, I believe they've had a new offensive coordinator every single year the past 3 or 4 years.
It's definitely been at least 3.
Yeah, it's at least the past 3 years. South Carolina needs to be careful about who they think that they are. Should you push to continue to be one of the top teams of the SEC? Yes, you should always strive for that. But understanding what you are and how the program's sold is important. I think Beamer gets that. It's a very pivotal year. If they go 4-8 again, probably going to make a change. But 6-6, 7-5, it might not be what you want to be, but you're playing 9 conference games. You're not one of the top spending programs in the country in the SEC by itself. You aren't one of the top programs in general in the SEC. Understanding who you are is very careful in this scenario. So I do think Beamer is on the hot seat entering 2026, but it would have to be almost a repeat of what happened this past year. And I don't know if I think that happens again. So, yeah.
Well, I think last year and from what I see this year on paper, the roster is better than 4-8. So you have to do better. You've got to go at least 6-6. But the biggest thing is, and this is where we throw out hot seats, is when you know what you're going to get. 5 seasons, he's 33-30. His most wins he got was 2024, went 9-3, lost the Citrus Bowl to go 9-4. After 5 years, that's your ceiling, right? You're probably not going to do better than that. It would take, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to hit on everybody you get out of the portal, right? They have to be contributors, played an all SEC level to win 10, 11, 12 games and talk about a playoff. But I think that's the problem. We know what South Carolina's going to be. And it's for all those reasons you said. They don't invest in the roster like other programs. Mm-hmm. There's so many things going against South Carolina. I mean, they're in South Carolina. Don't know if you've ever been there.
Great town. Yeah.
But no, that's the issue. That's why he's on the hot seat, because we know what it's going to be.
Well, and this year specifically, right, the pressure's on because you did spend to keep Dylan Stewart, Lenora Sellers, and Nick Harbor. So
those 3 guys right there,
keep those guys, you better win.
Those 3 right there, you should be able to find a way to win 6 games. Honestly, those are 3 playmaker, X factors, premier talents. Those guys would start anywhere else in the SEC. And if you don't go 6-6, those guys have to go off, right? And then be like, hey, the reason why we didn't win enough is because they didn't have enough help. I mean, look, Lenore threw for 3,000 yards. Nick Harbor caught 15 touchdowns. Dylan Stewart had
12.5 sacks.
Yeah, they need help.
Yeah,
I need more. You can sell that, but if they don't do much and they miss another bowl game, South Carolina would have to make a change.
Anybody else?
I mean, if you start getting anybody else, you're getting into a lot of very strange things happening next year.
I'm not so sure. I'm saying Brent Venables.
Like if missing a bowl game.
I mean, you're talking about just falling completely off the map this year.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, happened for Brent Venables to be on the hot seat.
7-5 or 8-4, and I think he might be gone. I mean, he is. I mean, I really, really think. Yeah, they went 10-3 last year, but they like backed their way into the playoff. They went 10-3 in 2023 and missed the playoff. It's been wildly inconsistent. 32-20 in 4 years. I mean, you look at the record: 6-7, 10-3, 6-7, 10-3. Are they going to go 6-7 again? I mean, yeah. and Oklahoma fans. I mean, another fan base that I would venture to say has been a little spoiled because Bob Stoops, one of the greatest head coaches of all time,
and Lincoln Riley hit a great.
And Lincoln Riley came in and kept it going, and Venables has come in and. I mean, yeah, they made the playoff. I'd say they backed into it because, I mean, we talked about already. Mateer was injured, and
if they have a pulse on offense,
right?
I mean,
and that's been their problem.
Bad.
That's been their problem every year. They have not been able to fix the offense. They go out and get the hottest offensive coordinator, the hottest quarterback, and the offense still wasn't good. Yeah. And I know Oklahoma fans are already tired of it because they're not winning at the levels they're used to. So 7-5, 8-4, and those people, they're gonna have their pitchforks and torches out. They had them out last year, and they ended up with 10 wins.
All right, I got one.
And we're loading the wagons for that one.
So we've gone Beamer as like the obvious candidate.
I wonder if you're gonna say the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, well I'll go, and then I'll say. So we got Beamer as the obvious one. Then we've kind of talked about maybe the wild card could be Venables if they 9 or 8 wins or less.
Which feels crazy. You fire a coach for going to 8-4.
That's not who I was going with.
All right, I want to talk about Josh Heupel here. Is there a world, and obviously a lot of this depends on complete hypothetical scenarios, right? Like who's available, who wants to get into coaching, what type of, if Tennessee doesn't, because there's a lot of question marks about Tennessee this year, right? The quarterback position is going to be a young guy who hasn't played at the college level. They have an early season road test against a team that is going to play them tough at Georgia Tech before they even go into conference play. Is there a world
you don't have to talk them up anymore, Bryce?
I still will. I'm an entrepreneur. Is there a world where Tennessee wins 5 games and you're like, is there at any point in the season where there needs to be a conversation in that scenario? And I haven't looked at totally the schedule. We don't, who knows, but
I've got it pulled up right now.
Don't tell me if they're going to win 5 games or not. But if they did, let's just say that they did, if they missed a bowl game, or had a 6-win season, is there a conversation to be had that Josh Heupel's on the hot seat in 2026? Or am I totally off my rocker and I think can't stand Sam?
If they win 5, absolutely, he's on the hot seat. I don't think they would do anything with it.
But is he on the hot seat for next year, or is there a chance in December?
I don't mean who would you want to go get?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's total hypothetical, right?
You'd have to go get a splash hire. I mean, I'm talking about big name hire.
Hugh Freeze is available.
I mean, sure. You would change,
but in all seriousness, it would be interesting to have the conversation if he is.
So many things would have to happen for that.
Okay. I'm talking about a coach has got to be freed up.
And I'm not talking about on the field. There's so many off the field things that would happen. Number one, I am very confident that Danny White has zero interest for any reason unless they go 3-9 to fire Josh Heupel.
Sure.
Their bond is too strong from UCF, Danny White going to Tennessee, bringing Josh Heupel with him. It is going to take and hey, listen, speaking from experience, it would take a coup level movement by the big money donors to get Josh Heupel out of Tennessee.
Peyton Manning kicked that door down for him.
So yeah, if they go 5-7, 6-6, it could happen. It certainly could. And looking at their schedule, I don't think their schedule is difficult.
Okay,
No.
I really haven't.
Conservatively, I think they win 8 games.
They're easily winning the first 3. They're going to start all 3 now, I think.
I think they'll start 4-1. They're going to beat Auburn. Auburn doesn't
Okay, I wasn't going past Texas.
Well, I guess when I talk about Heupel, for me, it's like I view it through the lens because I've been down here for 3 years, right? Brian Kelly didn't embarrass LSU until late.
Yeah.
So you were respectable, you just weren't good enough to get to the dance. At what point does that become – where's the line of delineation where you're like, hey, we've hit the point where we don't know if we can get back to that. And maybe it's not this year. Maybe they have a 7-5 year and they say, okay, in 27, you got to really do something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think the big difference, at least comparing it to Brian Kelly, Heupel's been to the big dance. He made it to the playoff. They get run off the field by Ohio State, but they were there. Brian Kelly never got there. And it was like I said earlier, Heupel, this resurrection that he's performed at Tennessee, I think is really incredible. It's bought him at least 2 years, maybe 3 years, if they hang on to him that long, which we know causes its own problems. You're hanging on to a guy for too long.
Well, and to wrap that up, and we'll go to the final question here, Will, to your point, the only thing I could really see a change happening is if you feel like, or the rumors start coming up to the donors about so-and-so might be available,
yes,
and you don't want to get left behind in the arms race. That's if you have a 7-5 or 6-6 season, and I have no clue who it would be. I mean, I genuinely don't know. And someone's like, dang, we could get him. He could be available. Maybe you cut ties to take that risk because you don't want to get left behind.
I'm just trying to run through names in my head that are like coaches that were like either in G5 spots that are really good.
I'm just joking.
But
they would Tennessee would be going after a sitting
NFL coordinator.
They'd be going for a P4 head coach.
Raheem Morris.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, I think, Will, like if someone sprinkled.
Well, go ahead and say it because we're going to hear it. If they lose a couple games, we're going to hear Lincoln Riley to Tennessee.
Ooh,
because his agent is doing his job. We heard it last year.
So I think Lincoln Riley has more upside than Josh Heupel. That's my opinion. But
yeah,
if that were to be sprinkled in the agent sphere,
it will.
That would be something that you could see. So, anyways, let's go to the next question. That's a really, really good. I like that.
That's a good one.
All right, final question of the evening, and then we will wrap things up. And don't forget, we do have Will's. Ken, you're on drugs. Ken got mad at me because I said it's baseball season. He's sitting here thinking I'm talking about spring training. Nobody. College baseball starts this weekend. It's baseball season. And yet, Ken, I do enjoy hearing the velvet pipes of Ben Ingram's calling a game from Fort Myers against the Minnesota Twins B team. I enjoy that.
I will be listening.
Hey,
yes.
Big game Friday night in Macon, maybe.
Troy and Mercer. Big one.
Sir.
Ralph might go. Who knows? Who's Auburn opening with this weekend, Will? Do you even know?
I go to the School of Blonde, probably.
I haven't looked. I don't even know I don't know.
Georgia plays Wright State. Consistent, really good mid-major team.
Well, you have to know that. So
it's contractually glory, you know. All right, so let's go final question of the evening. Then we're going to get to Will's FanDuel pick of the day. Which new head coach is most likely to taste success? Let's change it up. Which new head coach will make the playoff first?
I'm laughing because I looked at who Auburn's playing. Youngstown State.
Oh, yes, sir. Is that the Penguins?
The Penguins are coming to the play.
The Fighting Jim Trestles.
The Fighting Jim Trestles. There we go.
All right. Let's talk about it.
What
do we just
say the question again?
Let's let Ralph just give us your answer. No soliloquies here. Let's just go into the answer. Which head coach wins a playoff game? Doesn't make it. Wins a playoff game first.
I mean, we're talking about like 15 years down the road here.
They probably won't be there.
Yeah, right.
So who's the next SEC coach to win a playoff game?
No. Of the new one. Of the new coaches hired into the SEC. So Golish, Silverfield, Stein, Summerall.
I think I'd have to either I have to go with it, Will. I'm sorry. I go Golish. I think Golish has the most upside with this program going forward. Just from what they have available at Auburn. It's probably the exact wrong answer. But
you say hey? Hey. Can you tell bye-bye? Hey. Say night-night.
Bye, Addie.
All right. Love you. Can I have a kiss? Thank you.
Goodbye, Addie.
Bye. All right, anyways.
Gotta give the fans what they love, dude.
While they're here.
Yeah, I'm just going to go Golish. I think what Auburn has going forward, what they can offer these players, what they can bring in, I think what Golish is doing right now, and I think his scheme going forward, I think it has the most success going forward at Auburn.
Can I interject real quick?
You absolutely can. Just tell me I'm wrong.
What does Auburn offer you past 2020? Like, in seriousness, what does Auburn offer you past 2026?
Money.
Florida has that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going.
Like my pick's John Summerall, Florida. That's mine. Because I don't know what the plan. My thing with Golish at Auburn is what's the plan when your guys that made it work in Tampa aren't there anymore, and you still have success. I think they'll be fine this year. That'd be my only question. So I'm going to go John Summerall at Florida. I like his mentality. I like the plan. I like the.
Wait, can I change my answer to Lane Kiffin since he's technically a new head coach?
No, this is newcomer.
I'm kidding.
No, that for me is who I'm going with. I'm going John Summerall at Florida. I think
it's only two answers. I really do. I think it's only between two people.
I mean, respectfully, Ryan Silver winning something in Arkansas?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
He's not even winning a bowl game at Arkansas.
They're athletic. Their fans hate their athletic director there. So I
mean, he beat Arkansas this year. So
yeah, why not just hire the guy to beat us? Let's just do that.
Will, so I think I've gone John Summerall.
I don't know, dude.
Ralph's going Alex Golish.
I know who Will's going with. Put the logo on, Will.
I have to go Golish. I was so high on Summerall until
the
2
logo
days.
thing bothers you.
No, not the logo thing. It was very strange the way the hire went, him being spooked by Auburn, and then all of his messaging was like a complete 180. It's very strange to me. I don't know. I'm too involved in it to say it worries me because, of course, I want Golish to have more success than Summerall.
Well, let me ask, do you trust Golish more or do you just trust Summerall less? Like, what is it?
I'm gonna trust Golish more because, and the reason I'm already forgetting my rankings. I actually had Summerall ahead. Probably shouldn't have. Probably should have put Golish ahead of him because the counter arguments to Summerall is he inherited strong, successful programs. The two that he inherited, Troy and Tulane.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of arguments.
Well, Ralph, we know Chip Lindsey, but it was 2 years.
Someone ran a program to the floor, but okay.
Yeah, but it was
you're not wrong. The athletes were there.
Exactly.
You're not wrong.
A lot of arguments could be made, which Dr. Bob was here to weigh in. Some arguments have been made that Summerall took Tulane a step back, even though they made the playoff game. I've seen some of that discourse online that he maybe didn't live up to what Willie Fritz accomplished at Tulane, whereas Golish inherited a
dumpster fire
1-win program and improved on it every year. What he won 2 bowl games.
Florida this year.
Yeah, beat Florida this year.
Had a quarterback who went
and
this year.
Threw for 3,000 yards, rushed for 1,000. I mean, I don't care that it was in the American. There's only like 5 other guys that have ever done that.
Yeah.
And knowing Golish's background, recruiting coordinator at Iowa State, big player in Iowa State's rise to national recognition. I don't even want to say relevance because a bunch of people didn't even know who Iowa State was until Matt Campbell got there. And Alex Golesh was the recruiting coordinator on that staff. What he did under Heupel at UCF and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So his experience in the SEC, I know Summerall played in the SEC and coached in the SEC. So there are things other than Golesh is wearing the Auburn logo for me to say, yeah, Golesh can get Auburn into the playoff and win a game. He's got a proven track record of bringing in talent required to elevate whatever program, wherever he is. And gosh, I hope he can do it at Auburn.
The standard. That's what Gavin says. No, I mean, I think it's those two guys clearly. Now, Will Stein at Kentucky is very interesting because there's a lot of things working against Kentucky, and it's called Mark Pope over there, who's doing a really good job here lately. But I think that the immediate potential success. Who has the better immediate potential success? Like you would say, okay, it's Golesh and because there's so much from USF, but it's like, you know what? I've talked about him for 3 years. I think Buster Faulkner's a good offensive coordinator, and there's a question at quarterback for Florida because we're bringing in we're bringing in I can't even say that in multiple different ways, but Florida's bringing in
Aaron Philo.
Aaron Philo. They've got the kid from like the Tampa area who's like the high school state touchdown leader. They got talent, but we'll see. They lost a lot.
Saturday, September 19th, Buster Faulkner is going to go to the School of Dirk. Okay. Florida goes to Auburn. We're going to find out.
Yeah, he says this.
Look, and you know, I think about looking at just this year's schedule, right? Could it happen this year? I think we're talking about who can win a playoff game first. You got to look at this year's schedule. I think Auburn has a bit of an easier path to the playoff than Florida does. Head-to-head, Auburn gets the home game. Florida plays Georgia like they do every year, but they're going to Atlanta this year, playing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
I forgot about that.
That's a home game. Florida's got to go to Texas. They play Oklahoma, who's going to be ranked highly. So they go to Missouri.
Texas and Oklahoma?
They go to Texas and host Oklahoma.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a gauntlet.
I don't think that was supposed to happen, by the way.
That you weren't supposed to play at Texas or again.
You weren't supposed to play both of them for the first 4 years, but I think since they went to non-conference game, it happened.
Yeah, it changed.
Someone had to.
So, but Auburn's schedule, like every year, is difficult. Auburn's got to go to Tennessee, to Georgia. They host LSU. They go to Ole Miss and go to Alabama. So, but to me, I think it's more navigable. Let me enunciate. For Auburn to get there in 2026 than it is Florida.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with Will though. I do. I think Golesh has the best chance right now. Not to say that Summerall could not just turn this program around like he has the last two teams he's been at, and just.
But he didn't really turn Tulane around.
Sorry, I said it's not and has immediate success like he has the last two teams he's been at. Because, I mean, I know being a Troy fan, yeah, he had immediate success because the talent was there, but we just had to have the right person coaching the talent,
Michigan's offensive coordinator didn't do it for you?
He's not there anymore, is he?
I could care less what happens north of the Mason-Dixon line in college football.
Yeah, well, spell it right next time, okay?
I mean, neither team is making it.
It's also tough.
Pete Golding, I didn't include Pete in that, Ken, because he technically did it, and I think
he's already won 2 playoff games.
Yeah, he's already won 2 playoff games. Yeah.
So Ken also had a good point. He said, and I think he alluded to this earlier, he said, what if it is not in that comment, but an earlier comment, the next cycle, could one of those coaches have a better opportunity? Now, obviously, we don't know who the next run of coaches will be, but it depends on the fit, right? I don't know. It would be interesting.
I mean, it's kind of like what
I said. Lincoln Riley at Tennessee. If Lincoln Riley ended up at Tennessee, he's got the best odds.
That in Alabama.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez. Lane Kiffin in Alabama next year, 2027.
Let's not do this.
I'm telling you, if the Alabama job comes open, he's leaving.
It's going to be.
They will never say it, but I think that's why it took so long for him to make a decision.
100%.
He knew he was going to leave Ole Miss. It was either going to be Alabama or LSU.
All Auburn had to do was win. All the refs had to do was just swallow the whistle a couple times on those bad calls. And Kiffin would have been in Tuscaloosa.
That's right.
So, all right, before we get out of here, as we told you, every single episode is presented by FanDuel, and each and every single show we will have a pick of the day. Now, this is obviously airing on Monday night, but you might be looking at it on Tuesday or a couple other days. So, Will, you've got a Tuesday night college basketball pick. What are you rolling with?
We don't have a graphic or a banner for it.
Dude, he wasn't prepared. He had my graphic wrong, dude. He's just cooking dinner right now. Or cooking lunch, sorry.
So, what are we calling this? FanDuel pick?
Pick of the night.
Pick of the night?
Yeah.
For Tuesday night.
Yeah. Villanova
-9.5 hosting Marquette. Marquette this year under Shaka Smart has not been good. They're 13-11 overall, 4-9 in the Big East. 0-6 on the road in Big East play. And against the spread, their record this year, 7-16-1. Villanova having a really good bounce back here. They are going to make the tournament, sitting third in the Big East standings right now.
Big news.
About the Big East Conference of football, please.
Yes. Big news, by the way. Charles Bediako can't play anymore. So there's that.
So that means Auburn won the other day.
Someone
the wins are not going to be vacated, that's a crazy. Shocker. That's the crazy concept in itself, right there.
Is it crazy? It's not. Will, is it not? That's not shocking to you, is it? Will?
No, it's not.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
Par for the course.
It's standard.
We will be live once again on. What do you guys want to do? Tuesday, Wednesday? What are we feeling?
What's your show?
Yeah, you are the boss.
We could just roll tomorrow night.
I texted you earlier. What are you doing today, boss? I mean,
let's roll tomorrow night. Tuesday night, we're going to be talking ACC head coach rankings. Some newbies, including where's James Franklin falling in that totem pole, and should James Franklin be the best coach in the ACC heading into 2026? Yeah. It'll be. It'll be fun. Well, man, it's Ralph Larry. My name is Bryce Coon. Gavin, we appreciate you, FanDuel, sponsoring all shows all season long. We'll catch you tomorrow night, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Coon.